If you've ever spent time with a dog, you're probably familiar with that endearing head tilt, the way their ears perk up, their eyes widen, and their head leans slightly to one side, as if they're trying to figure out exactly what you're saying. It's one of those behaviors that seems almost human, and it never fails to melt the heart of anyone who witnesses it. But why do dogs do this? Is it just a cute quirk? Or is there something more behind the gesture? To understand why dogs tilt their heads, we need to take a closer look at how dogs perceive their world, especially how they communicate with both humans and their environment. Dogs, after all, are highly social creatures. Over thousands of years, they've evolved alongside people, developing not just a sensitivity to human emotions, but also a remarkable ability to interpret our speech, gestures, and facial expressions. The head tilt is one small but significant part of that complex communication system. First, let's talk about hearing. A dog's ears are finely tuned instruments, capable of detecting a much wider range of frequencies than humans can. But unlike us, dogs have ears that can move and pivot toward the source of a sound. Sometimes, when a dog hears an interesting or unfamiliar noise, like a high-pitched voice, the jingle of car keys, or even the sound of another animal, tilting their head may help them pinpoint exactly where the sound is coming from. By shifting the position of their ears and head, they can triangulate the origin of the noise, much like how we might cup our hand around our ear to hear something better. But there's more to it than just hearing. Inside a dog's head, the ear canals are shaped differently from ours. For many breeds, especially those with long, floppy ears or a pronounced muzzle, certain sounds might be partially obscured. Tilting the head can open the ear canal, allowing them to hear more clearly. Imagine trying to listen to someone talk in a noisy room. Sometimes just turning your head slightly can make all the difference. Dogs, it seems, have figured out their own version of this trick. However, the head tilt doesn't just help dogs hear more clearly, it also helps them see better. Consider this: when a dog looks straight ahead, their muzzle can sometimes block part of their field of vision, especially when they're trying to focus on a human's face. By cocking their head to the side, they can get a better look at our facial expressions. This is particularly important because dogs are experts at reading human emotions. They pay close attention to the subtle cues in our faces, trying to discern whether we're happy, upset, or playful. The head tilt, then, might be a way for them to study us more closely, making sure they don't miss a thing. Of course, dogs are also highly responsive to the tone of our voice. They're not just listening for words they recognize, like walk, treat, or outside, but also for the emotional content in our speech. A playful, high-pitched tone can signal excitement, while a gentle, soothing voice might indicate affection. When a dog tilts its head in response to our words, it could be trying to pick up on these emotional cues, gauging our intentions, and deciding how to react. But there's another, more learned aspect to the head tilt: positive reinforcement from humans. Think back to the last time your dog tilted its head at you. Chances are, you smiled, laughed, or praised them for being so cute. Dogs are incredibly attuned to our reactions, and they quickly learn which behaviors get a positive response. Over time, some dogs may tilt their heads more often simply because they know it pleases us. In this way, the head tilt becomes a kind of social tool, a way to endear themselves to their human companions. It's also worth noting that the head tilt isn't just a blanket behavior for all dogs. Some breeds are more prone to it than others. Breeds with longer muzzles or droopy ears, such as golden retrievers, collies, or German shepherds, often tilt their heads more frequently. This could be due to the physical reasons mentioned earlier, but it might also relate to their temperament and their historical roles as working dogs, bred for close interaction with humans. Yet, while the head tilt is usually a sign of curiosity, attentiveness, or affection, it's important to remember that not all head tilts are harmless. In rare cases, frequent or persistent head tilting can indicate a medical problem, such as an ear infection, vestibular disease, or other neurological issues. If a dog is tilting its head excessively, seems off balance, or shows signs of discomfort, a visit to the veterinarian is essential. But in most cases, a head tilt is simply part of the charming package that comes with having a canine companion. So, what does it all add up to? The real reason dogs tilt their heads is a blend of biology, communication, and a little bit of learned behavior. It's a practical way for dogs to hear and see better, a method for understanding the people around them, and, perhaps, a trick they've picked up to win our affection. Let's step back and consider the broader context of canine communication. Dogs, like many animals, rely on a mix of vocalizations, body language, and facial expressions to express themselves. While they don't have the complex verbal language that humans do, they make up for it with a sensitivity to the nuances of sight and sound. The head tilt is just one of many gestures they use to interact with us and their environment. Imagine a dog sitting at your feet, listening intently as you speak. You notice their ears perk up, their tail gives a gentle wag, and then, there it is, the head tilt. In that moment, the dog is fully engaged, trying to decipher your words, your tone, and your intentions. It's an invitation to connect, a sign that they're present and attentive. For many dog owners, these small moments are what make the bond between human and canine so special. The next time you see a dog tilt its head, remember that it's not just a cute gesture. It's a complex behavior rooted in evolution, anatomy, and learned experience. It's a testament to the intelligence and adaptability of our canine friends, who have spent thousands of years learning how to understand us. To better appreciate this behavior, it helps to look back at the evolutionary history of dogs. Descended from wolves, early dogs formed social bonds not just within their packs, but also with humans. Those that were most attentive to human speech and gestures were more likely to be welcomed into human groups where they could find food, shelter, and protection. Over generations, this attentiveness became ingrained, shaping the way modern dogs interact with people. Today, that evolutionary legacy is still evident. Dogs are quick to pick up on our habits, our routines, and even our moods. They learn the meaning of certain words, the sound of our footsteps, and the expressions on our faces. The head tilt is a small but meaningful part of this ongoing dialogue. A way for dogs to say, "I'm listening, I care about what you're saying, I want to understand you." Researchers have even studied this phenomenon, trying to pinpoint exactly what triggers the head tilt and what it might mean. In one study, scientists played different types of sounds for dogs, including familiar words, high-pitched noises, and even human laughter, and observed how the dogs responded. They found that dogs were more likely to tilt their heads in response to certain sounds, especially those that were novel or emotionally charged. Other studies have suggested that the head tilt might be a sign of intelligence. Dogs that are more engaged with their environment or more sensitive to human cues may be more likely to exhibit this behavior. It's no wonder, then, that so many dog owners see the head tilt as a sign of their pet's personality and charm. Beyond the science, there's something undeniably heartwarming about the head tilt. It's a gesture that bridges the gap between species, reminding us of the deep connection we share with dogs. Whether your dog is trying to understand a new command, listening for the sound of your voice, or simply enjoying your company, that little tilt of the head speaks volumes. Some trainers even use the head tilt as a way to enhance communication with their dogs. By rewarding the behavior with praise or treats, they can encourage their pets to be more engaged and attentive. This can be especially useful in training sessions, where clear communication is key to success. But even without formal training, most dogs instinctively use the head tilt as a way to connect with their humans. It's a spontaneous, natural response, one that brings joy to both dog and owner. In a world where life can be hectic and unpredictable, the simple act of a dog tilting its head can be a comforting reminder of the power of connection. It's a moment of shared curiosity, a sign that, for just a second, you and your dog are completely in sync. So, the next time your dog gazes up at you, head tilted in that familiar, inquisitive way, take a moment to appreciate the layers of meaning behind the gesture. It's more than just a cute pose for a photo. It's a window into the mind of your canine companion, a glimpse of their intelligence, their curiosity, and their desire to bond with you. In the end, the real reason dogs tilt their heads is both simple and profound. It's a blend of instinct, anatomy, and affection, a behavior shaped by evolution and reinforced by the love and attention of their human families. It's a small gesture, but one that speaks to the heart of what makes dogs such extraordinary companions. So cherish those moments, respond with a smile or a gentle word, and know that in tilting their heads, dogs are doing what they do best, trying to understand us, connect with us, and share in the joy of being together. In that simple, silent gesture lies the story of thousands of years of friendship, a story that continues to unfold, one head tilt at a time.